and welcome to Stir Crazy Art Classes, Gerald, Savine, lesson number 64. Today we're going to carry on painting the flowers we started last time. We're going to hark back a little bit to the very first lessons we did when we painted the poppies. We're going to treat the petals of the flower, which we're going to paint next, in the same way. In other words, we're going to paint one petal, miss one, paint the next one, miss one, paint one, next one. That way we won't get the colours bleeding into each other, and we can keep some sharpness into the painting. I'm not sure how far we should get in the next 15 minutes, but we'll see how it goes. And excuse me, I'm a cough now. We'll obviously then be going on to under the next 15 minutes, and again we'll see just how far we can get. Then we shall paint the centre of the flowers, and then we'll come back to the bee. So we've got one or two more lessons to go. I've already got mixed up some alizarin crimson. That's the only colour we're going to use. It's a nice colour. Now, obviously, if you've got something like rose madder, it'd be even better still, because this isn't quite the same pink. But then, as we know, flowers can differ in colour with their petals. So I've got this watered down quite well. So I've got solid colour, some with water in, and then some that's been really thinned down. So what I'm going to start off, excuse me, I'm going to cough again. I'm going to start at the top here, and I'm going to paint this flower first. So because this is at the background, this one's at the front, we'll leave that one till last. I'm going to paint a bit of colour up here. Now this is going to be quite rich because it's in a little bit more in the shadow from the flower above, using the point of the brush like that. And again I'm going to pick up the next one here as well, just while we're down here, so it can be sort of drying out. Now I'm gradually going to work my way around. I can paint this one now because it's free of the next petal along. Now the colour here is quite rich. As it dries off, it will actually get lighter. But again, we'll just go around quickly. And I've noticed because here these would be a bit darker because they're being overshadowed by the flower above. And then we can come round to the next one. Now here we can start beginning to get the system going properly. I'm going to put a little extra colour, a bit more pigment here. You will notice probably from the photograph that the nearer the petal is to the centre of the flower, the colour is slightly stronger. And now I'll just get rid of some of the colour or water off there, and we can start pulling like we did with the poppy. We can pull the colour up, and as we pull it, it will get lighter and lighter. And again, it says it's quite a little bit different to the... Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that just to dry off a little bit, and then what I'll do is I'll bring some more colouring into there. I'm going to miss that one and come to this one, and again here we can be fairly rich to start off with, and then again we will start pulling up as we come away from the centre of the flower. Washing the brush out again, get rid of most of the water. Using the tip of the brush, start pulling the colour up. So working our way from the centre of the flower. Again, miss the next one out. We can paint this one. Again here, this will be a bit darker here because it's underneath this petal. So again, in a moment, what I'll do is I'm going to pull the colour up and around here. And I'm going to pick up a little bit of the stronger pigment and just touch it into there, just to give a sort of shadowy effect from the petal above. And you can just sort of see how it works. And then again, the next one round, in fact there is a petal there and then one there, so we'll miss this one for the moment and we'll concentrate on this one, nice big one here. So again, there's got the bee come up against the bee, so be careful there. colouring coming round there. So we've got the head of the bee there. Now the colour there is a little bit strong, but doesn't matter for the moment. So we can do that, wash and brush out again, get rid of most of the water, and again I'll start pulling the colour up and around there. That's still quite rich, so I'm going to water this down a little bit more, so that's better. So again, coming up round here, and shortly we'll start going back to some of the other ones. Again, here we can come round here. Now we've got the wing of the bee here. Now we can see colour through there, but I'm going to leave that for now. I'll bring the colour here. Now again, that's a little on the strong side, so I'm just going to again just get the colour off the brush. What I've been doing there is just rub the brush against a piece of paper, missing it. The next petal, again petal here, just underneath where the bee is. Now I'm just keeping an eye on some of the original petals we've done, because I want to bring some more colour into those, but get a little bit more detail. But so as we come round, we've got to pull the colour out. Now I could do with a bit more colour there, I think, so I'm just going to pick up while it's still damp, just a little smidge of colour along there. And I can wash my brush out and again just pull it along, just gives a little bit more colour up under there. Again missing the next one. Again here where the bee is, a little bit stronger colouring, and then pulling the colour down. We're just about halfway through our time that we've got for doing this, so we'll be as quick as we can. Just a bit more colour into there. Again, while it's damp, you can just drop in, I'm using the tip of the brush to drop in a little bit of extra colour. And then, can you see it just gently blends down by itself. Now, the colouring up here is more or less dried off. I'm going to get a finer brush now. I've got this. I've been working with a nice point, but it's a number 8. This one's a number 4, but again it comes into a nice fine point. And so what I'm doing, I'm picking up some more colour from the slightly richer pigment, and I'm going to put in a little bit of line work like that. There's a sort of structuring within the petals. Gives a bit more interest to them. Again here we can put a bit more colour in. As you will see from the photograph, there's that sort of structuring in the petals. It gives some sort of shaping as well. Now here I'm using the wettest mix of colour. It does the amount of bits that are there do vary. Now here again, this also gives a shape to the leaves themselves. Don't know if you can see this. So sorry, to the petals, because these ones do vary a bit. They're not. This one's sort of going out. This is still a bit damp, so I won't put any more on for the moment. We'll carry on round now. Missing this one, getting onto this one. Now this one is underneath, so the colour can be richer here, coming off the paint area. If you remember, we showed you about how a picture frame, a bit of card, can make a big difference to, again, make it a bit darker under there. And I'll be very cheeky then, pick up some raw pigment that I've got already out. Again, just to emphasise the shadow of the petal above. But it's working with the tip of the brush all the time. When that's dry, I'm actually going to go in quite a lot stronger there. we'll wait until it's actually dried off. Missing this one now, same again. I'm picking up a little bit of the mix that's got more pigment in it to start off with, because again it's down below, underneath this petal here, so we can afford for a bit of shadow. And again here we come up through here, a few more minutes to go before we need to stop. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to stop on that one for the moment, and I'm going to go back to the ones up here. Now again, these are going to be slightly darker because again here these ones are underneath, so we can afford to be just a little bit darker. It's getting shadow from the petal there, but also from the other flower too, so we've got that colouring. The tip of the brush there to get that going. Again the same applies here. This is getting shadow from this one. I'll just take the colour out here, but it's over the top of this one. So here we go lighter, and just pulling the colour across. Now what I can do, when it's dry, I will go down and put a bit more dark under there. And again here, this one here is lighter than this one, but we'll adjust that later on. Again, really should be pulling the colour away from the centre of the flower. Do it the wrong way round. Should know better. So just pull the colour back down into this area down here. Got about another 3 minutes to go doing this. What I'll do is I'll again let this sort of dry off a bit. This one here again is going to be a bit darker because it's behind this one here. Now again I'm going to pull down that way. I hope you can just begin to see how it's building up. So we got that sort of happening. Again here, the one behind here is a bit darker. The one that's just there's only a little bit showing, but it's still there. And again here, it's darker here because it's under the shadow of this petal. But then, because it's on top of these other ones, it then comes lighter. So that's going to become lighter here. So as you go round, you can adjust. Once bits have dried off, you can add more darkness in. Whoops, that's gone a bit. See what happens with. If I'd had another wet petal against that, that would have bled right into it. So it just shows you what you have to, how careful you have to be. And again here. Again here, we've got the darker just underneath there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that around, and we'll just have to leave that now to dry up. But if you can get the general idea, you can work round on this. But again, what I'll do is now I'm going to stop now, and we'll come back and we'll do some painting, carry on with the painting. Okay, so we'll just say goodbye for now, and see you in lesson 6.